So, how did my month off Zepbound go? I went completely cold turkey and did not have a shot for 4 consecutive weeks. Let's find out.
In our appearance driven social system, toxic productivity and diet culture are considered especially heinous. In Denver, Colorado, a dedicated goal getter seeking to crush these vicious lies is the founder of an elite squad known as Heal Thy Spirit. These are her stories.
Hello, my name is Tia, and I am in Denver, Colorado. I have been taking Zepbound since April 21st, 2024, so just over a year. When I hit, if this is your first time here and you didn't watch the previous video, go back and watch that for my reasons as to why I decided to take a pause. But I completed the 4 weeks with no injection of Zepbound, and I'll put my Shotzi um, scroll here so you can see that, you know, where my levels went um, from when took my last shot on May 30th. And then I did not have any more shots until June 1st. So that update for my first week back on Zepbound will come tomorrow. Um, so anyway, let's get into it. I did do a PowerPoint again because I want to basically stay on track and keep this short because there's always a lot of information and I tend to ramble and I'm also somewhat of a squirrel. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. This is my cover photo on the episode cover, but this is taking this picture over here on the left was actually taken when my anniversary date, which was April 20th. It was 52 weeks or 53 weeks rather, after I started the injection. So this was pretty much at where my weight was for my 1 year update video. Um, this picture, and it's the same outfit. This was a 2-pack, a little cheapy tank tops, and it's the exact same shirt, exact same size. I just put the different colors so I wouldn't be confused. But this picture was taken on Sunday, June 1st. So this was before, while I was still, fully ramped up in the shot, and this is um, the day of, before I took my first shot 4 weeks later. So it's really a gap of about 6 weeks. But you can see um, I pretty much look the same. I mean, there is, some space here, it looks like. And I think I took this picture after I worked out. So the leggings were kind of loose. These were the exact same leggings. So um, we'll see. All right, so here is the long awaited results. I'm not going to make you wait until the end. So this is according to the Renfo scale, and I wish I had known that I could do a comparison date to date to be able to make it easier. But as you can see here, 185, and let me move this again out of the way so you can see the picture. So 185 exactly was what I weighed on May 1st. And um, June 1st, I weighed 197.4. So that's an increase of 12.4 pounds. I'm not freaking out about this, not at all. As you'll see on the future slides, as to why. Number one reason being that my body, the way I looked, wasn't really that much different. So it's, nothing to get your panties in a bunch about. My BMI, I had gotten down to the overweight category, and now I'm up to 31.9, which is up 2 points. So I'm back in obese just barely. But again, BMI, grain of salt. My body fat percentage, according to the Renpho scale, was 37% and 40% currently. So up 3% body fat according to this scale. And these things don't really, I'm not going to really get that, but essentially, you can see it on the screen, but I'll just go through the metrics. My weight gain, 12.4 pounds, BMI up 2, body fat up 3%, and 10.6 pounds. Subcutaneous fat up 2.4%, body water down 2%, skeletal muscle down 1.8%, fat mass, fat-free mass, and see here is, the kicker, up 1.8 pounds. So what does that mean? It means, my muscle gain, it's saying I went up 13.3% and 1.6 pounds, which bone mass obviously stayed the same. Protein went down a little bit. My BMR, it says it increased 11 calories per day. So there's that. All right. So for the DEXA scan, so what I did was actually on April 30th, or April 29th, I had a DEXA scan. And then on May 30th, I went back and had another one. And these numbers look wacky. And I did also get on the Renpho scale right before I went to my appointment. So I did 2 weigh-ins that day. And I did get another scale, but I'll talk about that in another video so that we can, kind of keep this one short. But according to the DEXA scan results, my body fat decreased by 2% and 0.8 pounds. My total weight did go up 8.6%, which is saying my muscle mass went up 9.4% or 9.4 pounds, and my fat free mass increased 9.3 pounds, which is crazy. So, that's completely impossible. Anybody that knows anything about anything, you cannot gain 9 pounds of muscle in 30 days. So I Googled it. And mind you, when I go for the DEXA scan, and you don't have to fast prior to a DEXA scan, you should not go dehydrated, but there is no fasting period. It just, does a scan. And I Googled it to find out. And I also asked the lady there, I asked her about, how does wasting in your body show up on a DEXA scan, like when you have to, like foods you've eaten that hasn't been digested, and also water. So water, and I did drink water in the car on the way to the scan, but water comes out as lean mass. So, I'm not going to have another DEXA scan until the end of July, because that'll be like my 1 year anniversary from my very first DEXA scan. So, we'll see. But again, taking these numbers with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, I don't think that the fat composition is too far off. Like I'm, 2% body fat in a month. I doubt that that is, completely accurate, that that's skewed a little bit by the water, but it does show well, no, that's what I think actually might be accurate. But the actual muscle mass gain, I think that that's skewed by the water. So, but you can see the comparisons according to the DEXA on April 29th. I weighed 187.8 and then 196.4, and the scale did show the same thing. And it says my body fat percentage went down 2%. I think I'm probably still somewhere around 35, but it is what it is. My total fat pounds, I think that's pretty accurate. This just breaks it down by body part. But my bones weigh the same, but it's saying my fat free weight is much higher than what it was 30 days ago. So there's that. All right. Measurements. What did I learn about taking measurements? I learned that I just really don't know how to take measurements. So these, I actually did them myself with the actual tape measure, the Renpho tape measure, and it saves it. So on the left is the May 1st numbers, and over here on the right is the June 1st numbers. And so you can see, and you can also see from the pictures that I did go up in some places, but like, my left and right arm were completely off in the beginning, whereas they're closer over here. My chest, 38.77 versus 39.96. My waist says I gained 3 inches around my waist, which I probably just didn't have the tape measure in the right place, because I don't think that, I mean, you could see a difference, but I don't think 3 inches of a difference. But, we'll see. I don't do measurements except for once a month. So I'll see how it goes when I do them on July 1st. All right, so exercise. So I forgot to put this in my 10K video, but this is all the awards that I got in one day on my Apple Watch for the 10K. It was my fastest 10K because literally my Apple Watch has never recorded me doing a 10K. So I got my 10K award. My fastest 5K, which means the last time I ran a 5K was in October, and it recorded my time as faster by the time that I hit 3.1 miles. Running record, workout record, I burned 778 calories in that 90 or 87 minutes, if we want to call it what it is. And my longest running workout. So it's a little bit longer, 6.34 miles, obviously, because I had to catch my breath and take off stop my workout. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share. I had 30 total workouts in the month of May, from the 1st through the 31st. 24 active days and 7 rest days. The reason that the numbers don't add up is because sometimes I work out more than once. So you know that I work out with the Fit Squad, and they work out Monday through Saturday, but I don't go to all of those sessions. Sometimes I will work out on my quote unquote rest days with them. And then sometimes I will just rest on my rest day. And then, but if it's a train well day, then, and I want to do the workout that Fit Squad is doing, I will do both. So I'll do one before work, and then I'll do one either at lunchtime or after work. Or if I miss my train well workouts, like if I have upper body, because the way it works is on Sunday, I have full body for train well. And then Monday is a rest day or Fit Squad day. Tuesday it's upper body. Wednesday is a lower body. And if sometimes, depending on work, because Tuesday is also the day that I lead my church's Bible study, it's a virtual Bible study. And if I didn't, just depending on what work and everything else, sometimes I will push that upper body workout to Wednesday. Because it's upper body and lower body are separate workouts, I will sometimes do them the same day. And they're like 45 minutes to an hour each. But I'll do one in the morning and then one either at lunchtime or after work. Or again, if I want to do the Fit Squad workout. So that's why this is all, there were 7 days that I did no exercise, and I did rest the Sunday before the run. So there's that. And then I put this in here. We'll see if the link works. It does record my workouts. I haven't quite figured it out, but this only shows the 3 train well workouts. This was the week of the race. And so this was a time where I rested on Sunday because, as you can see, most of the time you'll see Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So like this week, I did all of my workouts, and then I did an extra workout on Saturday from the Trainwell app because I'd asked her for an extra leg day in my extras, my trainer. But this freeze here is a day that I used, so I wouldn't mess up my streak. It says 58 days. It's really much longer than that because I was kicked out of the app for a while, like before 2 months ago. It's a whole thing. But my own fault, not Trainwell's fault. But anyway, it basically shows all the days that you did a Trainwell workout whenever there's a dumbbell here. And it says, and it does not count, like you'll see it in the app if you do other workouts. and you know, track it with the tracker, but it doesn't give you credit for like minutes exercise and all of that. These are strictly train well minutes. So it says that I lifted a total of 97,653 pounds. So I'm in the top 30% of all train well users for weightlifting. I exercise 548 train well minutes. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days, and one of those was probably 2, but 548 divided by 11 is 49.8 minutes. So 50 minutes workouts from Trainwell. And message exchange, that's with me talking to my trainer. So I'm definitely in the top 1% there because I'm always going for guidance. This also shows my top exercises that I did. So this is not all the exercises that I did. It just shows the ones that I did the most of all the exercises. And this is how the app will show you. I do have a video where I recorded my workout last Sunday. So I'll show you kind of how it works in a future video. These are my new personal records. Anytime you go up in weight or reps, it gives you a PR. And so it's just showing like over the years, I guess. I don't know why it only goes back February, but with the dumbbell front squat, I'm up to 20 pounds on each shoulder. The dumbbell renegade row, same. This exercise here. Front rack lunge, 20 pounds. The barbell thruster, that is a burner. 8 reps at 50 pounds on with a barbell. And that's basically where you go from a squat all the way up to an overhead press. It's intense, but actually one of my favorites. I went up to 50 pounds on the single leg deadlift and 50 pounds on the bent over row, which is like legit my favorite. So that shows you all the exercises that I worked during the month of May, which is all the exercises. So that is what I wanted to show you there. And so that was my exercise for the month of May with no Zepbound. And then I put a little slide in here for my NonScale Victory, which I have already talked about endless, but I'm just so proud of myself and, you know, my son Devron, and just put some scenes here. I just put this picture because I thought it was hilarious. This one on the far right, because it caught me, the cameras caught me one time when I was walking and I just looked like I was going to die. My mouth is wide open. It's just funny. So I thought, you know, let's put this in here to show that I'm a human being and that it was not easy at all. All right. All right. So here's my eating as far as my calories. So as far as how I felt, so when I first, you know, the first week wasn't too terrible. You'll see that I pretty much maintained around 1762. So my goal was trying to hit, I mean, I left it at 1500, but I was trying to hit about 1800 calories roughly per day, like average out to that. And that first week, you know, I did pretty well. And this kind of covers some of, because my last shot would have been April 30th, I believe. And I think I said earlier in the video, May 30th, but April 30th would have been my last shot that I took, or the last injection that I took, if I'm looking at my calendar correct. So this is like a few days because my weeks go from, I used to take the shot on Friday and then weigh on Sunday, and then I would count my calories that Sunday. So this is, you know, a portion, probably a little more than what it would have been. It's more than 7 days, really. But May 4th to May 10th, 1762. Then you can see I was week 2, I was crazy. I was hungry ferociously. 2,300 calories was my daily average. And then, you know, it started to level off. So I kind of got back down to a normal eating range. And then this was the week of the race. And so I did have, you know, a lot of extra calories, carb loading, as I explained, you know, before the race and leading up to the race. And then, of course, when I got home that day, But, again, still not completely out of control. This wasn't like every day. This was just, maybe 1 or 2 days. I had like maybe close to 3,000 calories. I did keep eating the same foods. It's just I was able to eat a lot more of it. So that is, where we are with that. And this is the nutrition. So my first week, 128 protein, 127 net carbs, fiber 23 grams, sugar still pretty low in the beginning, and then fat 82 grams, which I never really monitor much the sugar and the fat. I just put it on here for comparison purposes for this experiment. Um, Week two, macros up to 152 of protein, 170 of carbs, 44 grams of fiber, 47 of sugar, and 107 of fat. And I talked to my dietitian about this because I did have an appointment with her just as my week was ending, or my 4 weeks was ending. And she said that this was totally fine, that, when you're in a situation where you are feeling hungrier than usual, focus on increasing that protein and increasing that fiber. And so that's what I did. I did, obviously the carbs are higher, but that's just, the way it combined. But as long as I'm focusing primarily on the protein and the fiber, then I'm okay, as opposed to the sugar and the fat. Which week three, same thing. Protein is, lower than the week before, but still pretty high. Carbs still around the same. Fiber super high. Sugar right around the same. Fat under 100. So still doing good there. And then this was the week number 4, 163 grams of protein, 206 net carbs. But again, remember that was the race week carb loading. Fiber was a little bit lower, but still over 25. Sugar was higher. I had guests in town, and we went to our Italian restaurant that we eat at just about every Friday. We call it Cows on Friday. And they had all of these desserts, and I didn't ask for it, but they brought me a piece of chocolate cake back, and I ate it. I ate half and half. So like I ate half of it on whatever day we had it. And then when I got back home from the 10K, I was like, I burned so many calories today. I am eating this chocolate cake right now, because also I didn't want to spill it over and still have it left over to eat into the next week when I was, back into my normal eating routine. So it's okay to, indulge, as Traces of Twine would say. I don't call it indulging. I really don't deny myself anything. I just pay attention and eat smarter. So like if I'm going to have a piece of chocolate cake, I'm just not going to have it every day. So that is my macro. So what did I learn in this experience? So the main thing was that I did notice that there was some brain fog. Like when the medication started to get lower, or the level of medication in my body started to get lower, that I was a little more disconnected, if you want to. I don't know how to explain it, and it could be, with stress of work, things going on at work, and other things in life, but it did not feel like I was as clear minded as I had been, since at being on the medication pretty regularly. My energy level did not really change. You hear a lot of people saying that Zepbound will make you tired. And I don't think it's the tiredness. I think it's the lack of nutrients. The medicine itself doesn't make you tired. It's just maybe you're eating less calories, or expending more energy. So your level of energy is lower. So you really want to make sure you're getting in, the right amount of food to support your level of activity. Um, I did not sleep as much, which is odd. Like I thought that I'd be able to sleep longer, but my body is just kind of on a rhythm. So it does what it does. And I did not sleep as many hours. I actually had, I think, lower sleep during the month of May than previously. On average, I average about 6.5 hours per night, that I try to do a little bit more than that. What I learned is that going cold turkey is probably, at least for me, not going to be the best thing to do. When and if I do decide to completely come off, I would either want to experiment with going down in dose every week or staying at whatever dose I end up at when I hit maintenance, and then just maybe taking it less frequently. So that is what I'm leaning towards. For the number on the scale, which is not really something that I learned from this experience, but it doesn't really matter. The important thing is to look at how you feel and how you look. And, as you can see from the side by side 30 days later, the picture on the right, I'm 12 pounds heavier and I still look pretty much the same. So it's not, I mean, you can see the difference in the belly area, but it's not important. So will I stay on Zepbound forever? The jury is still out on that. Clearly, there were some benefits to taking it, as you can see, but I don't truly, I think that there was a lot of retention, as I mentioned, when I was off for just a week. I had swelling, and with this same thing, and I'll talk about it in my week one back on video, but um, I think it was like 4 days after I took the shot before the swelling went down in my ankles, like every single day, my ankles were so fat. And yeah, I don't want to make this one too long. You'll just have to come back and watch tomorrow's video with my first week update, or week 60 update rather. But I really don't, I would love nothing more than to not have to be on this medication. But the whole point of medication is that it corrects things that your body does not correct naturally. So, that being said, more than likely I will, in some form or fashion, continue to take it, just probably, let a lower dose or a less frequent dose. But, we'll just have to see. But that is pretty much all that I have for you today. And I hope that you will come back and watch the next video. And this is one thing I wanted to add, because this last video that I did, where I actually, um, you know, posted in about my, what I was doing, that I was stopping Zepbound, that was super popular. So if you watch that video and you're coming back and you're watching this video, I'm asking you, if you don't mind, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's not the only type of things that I talk about here, but primarily it is. So if that's what you like to see, the DEXA scan, the exercise, the weight loss tips, whether or not you're on a GLP-1, GIP, or just, going with the flow, or you're just nosy. I used to say that in the beginning all the time, but I do appreciate you. The new subscribers, I appreciate you. And for, I guess that's it. I'll end it here. Don't forget to heal thy spirit for a healthy spirit, and may grace and peace be yours in abundance. Take care.